historically remains governed strictly by primitive natural laws. This is no ordinary forest, but a specialized ecosystem where solid rock surfaces conceal ancient hidden marshes deep beneath. King Kong stands proudly as the sole ruler and guardian of this highly protected primitive universe untouched by human hands. A sudden powerful vibration rising from the deep cavern spaces terrifies the largest native wilderness predators in the forest. A terrifying disaster hidden for long centuries on the island's darkest edge has finally emerged to hunt and claim its territory. Emerging from dark, mysterious waters, the world's largest primal predators, the ancient titans, enter the Sarsab's Keeler with great ferocity. The ultimate dangerous and epic final battle compilation begins as the invaders challenge the king's rule and authority in this land. The old forest silence shatters like an explosion as the ancient titans erupt from the foliage with immense power and force. Utilizing unexpected velocity camouflage patterns and massive heavy bodies, the monsters ambush the island king immediately in a surprise attack. The invaders advanced rapidly, wrapping steel coils and heavy limbs around Kong's broad shoulders and chest, causing severe constriction. A Sanjin phase of death began where every passing second squeezed natural oxygen out of Kong's lungs, causing immense pain and suffering. Survival appeared completely impossible as the intense pressure brought the protector's skeleton close to breaking point and collapse. The immediate jungle ecosystem experienced a severe wave of terror, witnessing the potential fall of the king and his rule. But the true king's deep rage is his greatest destructive power, which the enemy underestimated completely today and paid dearly for. Despite experiencing devastating physical pain and total body compression, the primate activated his mental capacity and prepared for a counterattack. He lifted a heavy and Wozni granite piece from the mud, using his available free hand immediately in preparation for a fierce battle. He drove the stone with force into the lower cranial base near the titan's sensitive main artery, causing severe injury and pain. A severe wave of pain surged through the monster's body, forcing its tight coils to loosen and release their grip on the king. Gaining absolute freedom, Kong combined his massive hands into a heavy hammer configuration for physical response and counterattack. He delivered an extremely powerful strike onto the titan's jaw, causing fluid to erupt from its mouth and weakening its grip. The titans broke several old trees, crashing down onto the earth with a heavy and decisive thud, causing widespread destruction. The jungle clearing has completely transformed into a dangerous death field, where a fire of revenge burns fiercely and relentlessly. This Gamasan and ruthless battle became a turning point where dominance was decided solely by physical force and raw power. The intense physical confrontation reaches its absolute conclusion, resulting in the total destruction of the enemy forces and their defeat. Utilizing his remaining physical power, Kong dragged the lifeless titans across the muddy ground with distinct purpose and determination. He hurled the dead monsters deep into the sanctuary's deepest and darkest cavern ruins, permanently today and securing the land. Its return from the shadows of this ancient subterranean chasm is rendered completely impossible within nature and the law of the jungle. The grand prehistoric duel concludes, leaving the ancient habitat secure under its rightful alpha leader now and forever. Covered in deep wounds, the victorious king emerges from the mud, seeking an elevated vantage point to survey his kingdom and territory. He climbs toward a high Pathrala Chatan as his respiration gradually returns to standard baseline levels and his strength is replenished. The alpha primate mounts the high platform overlooking the entire valley expanse of his wilderness kingdom with a sense of pride and ownership. The final crimson ray of the setting sun falls on his chest, illuminating his extensive battle scars and the weight of his responsibilities. The protective sparkle returns to his eyes as he confirms his absolute dominion over the entire land and his place as the true ruler. Standing as a massive shadow between dusk and moonrise, he positions himself to guard his territory and protect his people. He releases an immensely powerful roar toward the sky, shaking the entire perimeter of the sanctuary today and announcing his presence. This roar declares that no matter how large the invasion, the sole Badshah remains King Kong and his rule is unshakable. The absolute monarch stands firm, confirming that dominion over this prehistoric wildlife sanctuary remains Hamisha his to protect and defend. The unique landscape of the sanctuary is permanently modified by the extreme physical violence of today's fight and the scars it leaves behind. Agitated mineral elements settle once again into mud pools as the valley returns to a quiet state and the land begins to heal. Life along the ground slowly resumes as smaller organisms witness the aftermath of the Titans' war and the return of peace to the land. These jagged stone crowns have witnessed the fall of massive invaders and the rise of victors in this ancient land of primal struggle and dominance. Scavengers descend from high altitudes to participate in the final chapter of this deadly wilderness struggle and feed on the fallen titans. Relics of the combat are slowly buried by the sands of time, becoming part of history and the forgotten memories of a bygone era. Tranquility returns to the territory, but the memory of the dangerous invasion will echo Hermetia here and be remembered for generations to come. Even the strongest kings must tend to their wounds after surviving a lethal encounter with monsters and the trauma it inflicts. As dawn approaches, the predator's memory fades, and the sun honors the victors of final battle and their triumph over their foes. Nature adapts quickly to violence, using the scars of the past as foundation for the future, and the cycle of life continues unabated. The waters are still once again hiding the memory of the giant predators that fought here and the war that shook the land. Even in the sight of destruction, new life begins to bloom, fueled by rich volcanic soil and the unyielding spirit of nature. Walking through the ferns, the ruler re-established his daily patrol of the land he successfully defended and protected from harm. Standing tall, the ancient trees endure the passing of seasons and the violent wars of titans that have shaped this land over time. The forest is alive with movement as the cycle of life continues under watchful eyes here, and the delicate balance of nature is maintained. At night, the marsh reveals its eerie beauty, masking the violence that occurred beneath the moon and the secrets it holds. Steam rises from cooling earth as the heat of the battle dissipates into darkening night air and the land begins to heal. The jungle canopy hides many secrets, but the story of the hunt will always be told and remembered in the annals of time. Small life forms emerge once again to claim their place in the cycle of nature today, and the eternal dance of life continues. Even the strongest kings must tend to their domain after surviving a lethal encounter with monsters and the scars it leaves behind. The moon watches over a kingdom that has successfully defended itself against the greatest of terrors and the darkness that threatens it. With the arrival of dawn, the king prepares to patrol his vast territory once again today and ensure the land remains safe and secure. The river remains a source of life for all creatures who call this mysterious basin home and the vital force that sustains it. The waterfall provides a moment of reflection for the ruler who has survived another day today and the weight of his responsibilities. A king sees more than just a survivor in the reflection, he sees weight of duty and the burden of his rule. Light returns to the land, revealing the true scale of the prehistoric world where titans rule and the primordial landscape is reborn. Nature's small workers begin the task of reclaiming the site where massive primal titans fought, and the cycle of life continues. Even the most fearsome predators are part of a delicate balance that sustains life. Hermetia and the intricate web of nature is maintained. Mountain waters steadily rinse the old muddy fields, restoring clarity across the entire marshland habitat zones, and the land begins to heal. Pristine atmospheric movements shroud the highest ridges, keeping silent vigil over changing primitive wildlife domains. Hermetia and the secrets it holds. Morning condensation provides critical sustenance for small local organisms moving through dense hidden foliage layers routinely, and the cycle of life continues. Towering ancient groves remain unaffected by massive apex confrontations, preserving natural structures over long eras. Hermetia and the land remains unchanged. These ancient heights maintain an unyielding watch over the shifting cycles of life and primal animal combat that shape this land over time. Tranquility returns to the basin, but the memory of dangerous hunt will echo Hermetia in time, and the story of the Titans' war will be told. The legends of the Citadel of Primordials will forever echo the day the